It happens. Just because you have access to all the amazing stuff inside X doesn't mean you can skip the proper progression as instructed. Let's get into some Swole fam. Let's get into Swole fam action here. This is a good question. This is from inside the Swole fam, the discussion boards inside X. Let's see what we got here. Let's get into the first one today. What's in the box here? This one's from Cheryl inside the Swole fam. Remember, fam, make sure you go in and checking out the discussion boards. Like I said, I'm going to be posting some workout stuff and some nutritional content, some pictures of what I'm eating, and some just, discussion over there. Obviously, it's called the discussion section for a reason, but make sure you're going in and checking that out. And you do get access to that as a Swole fam or an unlimited member. So make sure you go and give a look-see over there because we're going to be blowing that up, especially moving into 2021. So this is under the pillar 3, which is training. Obviously, if you know your 7 pillars, make sure you go and download your copy over on the website. It's free. 7 pillars for life, right, Beaches? So pillar number 3 is, I'm covering it. Pillar number 3 is training, as you can see if you're watching here. So pillar 3 is training. If you don't know, now you know, biatch. Cheryl says, I've been doing the Scorched Earth program. I like how fancy it is with the 2 M's and the E. Program. I've been doing the Scorched Earth program without yoga because of bum shoulder. How? I have a question here. How the hell are you doing the Scorched Earth program if you have a bad shoulder? Why are you doing without yoga? A bum shoulder. Have to build up the SE program? Have to build up strength first? That does not sound like what you should be doing, dear. If I'm reading that correctly, SE is Scorched Earth to me. If you have a bum shoulder, you should be doing the 90-day dash and you should be practicing your Swollen 7, doing the shoulder awareness as long as you're medically cleared and doing your yoga. Why can't you be doing yoga? Doesn't mean you have to do downward dog. You can modify. Anyway, I don't have access to a gym. How is this happening? How is this going down? I'm curious. How's this going on? How's this going down? I don't have access to a gym. What are some alternatives to the pull-ups? Okay. All right. Hold on a second. I am confused. Can you all go in there? Make sure you drop in some comments there. What is going on here? How are you doing it? How are you doing a pull-up? Or how are you doing like an alternative to the pull-up because you don't have access to a gym? How would you do a pull-up anyway if you have a bum shoulder? Like, what does a bum shoulder mean? What does a bum shoulder mean? What are some alternatives to pull-ups? Inverted rows. You could do them on a machine, TRX, things of that nature. Yeah, you should be, that's one of the number one things you should be doing. Like, what does a bum shoulder mean? That depends. That depends on, that's a vague thing. That's not specific. A bum shoulder doesn't really have any meaning to me. I want to know what's going on. So I'm not even going to go further on this question. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense here. So SE, I'm wondering if that is referring to something else. There's nothing else in X that SE means Swollen 7. No, Scorched Earth. There's no way you're doing the Scorched Earth program without like equipment, number one. That's why we have some major releases coming. You could be doing the Swollen 7. You should be doing the yoga. Yeah. Doesn't quite make sense. So make sure you're all going in there and jumping on this post. And of course, making sure that Cheryl understands, because that's not where you should be starting. And that's not what you should be doing with that kind of thing. See, it happens. It happens. Just because you have access to all the amazing stuff inside X doesn't mean you can skip the proper progression as instructed. So make sure that you definitely regress that and bring it back to standard, because you need to in a big way, Cheryl. You shouldn't be doing that program. I think there's more going on here. Yeah, I agree, Matthew. There's something else going on here. There's more to it. Matthew, sounds like there's more to it than all is mentioned. She needs to go deeper than to get the appropriate. Yeah, we need more context. So Cheryl, if you're watching, listening, which you should be, make sure that you give some more context. Make sure you follow up. You can also post up. Again, I would follow up on your own post. I would reply to your own post and go a little bit deeper on that so it can help you. And you can also jump on over to the Facebook group too. That way you get some more feedback. So I would post in both places. That way you get a little bit more conversation. Yeah, you should not be. Remember, and this is a good post because we have to talk about why proper progression is important. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what sex you are. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter if you're using bands or dumbbells or kettlebells or barbells. It's still proper progression and progressive overload. And you always want to work within your means. It doesn't mean you don't push. It doesn't mean you don't try. It doesn't mean you don't customize too. So you want to make sure you're overloading your body, but overloading your body relative to what you can handle and appropriately. You don't want to be doing stupid. So it doesn't mean that not every exercise is going to be ideal for every person. For some of you, there might be some issue. For example, Cheryl, maybe there's an issue with her shoulder where it's not something that's really fixable. Maybe there's some genetic thing. Maybe it's something that was broken or injured before. Maybe there's part of the muscle that had to be removed. You never know. So there is just permanent limitations that causes some issues. So maybe a pull-up or maybe a certain position in yoga, but there's certainly a massive amount of yoga you can do that doesn't do anything negative to the shoulder. So maybe downward dog is stress. So don't do downward dog. There are modifications for that. You can do it on your knees, but yoga is amazing. And if you're skipping yoga because of a shoulder, like, how are you getting away with doing anything remotely close to a pull-up? And how are you doing Scorched Earth? That's an advanced program. That's not a beginner program, especially with a bad shoulder. That's not something you should be doing. Shoulder awareness. Do the corrective exercises inside the shoulder awareness program. And that's in the program vault as well. That's my recommendation, and I'm sticking to it. So Cheryl, I appreciate that. We need some more context. I think everyone here agrees. We need some more context with that, yeah? We need some more context with that post. It's good stuff.